Let's talk about triggers. Hi everyone, Jamie Bates here, and today I want to talk to you about triggers. So I just posted in my Facebook group, The Conscious Empath, about sharing one thing that's triggering you. And so I want to kind of elaborate on that. I want to really talk about triggers and how your triggers are greatly locking up and limiting your life, okay? And let me tell you what, you guys, some of you guys wrote some pretty big things about being triggered. And I tell you, some people wrote even just like the human race is triggering me. When you have that much resistance, that resistance can cause some massive issues in your body. They can, when you're triggered by something, okay, it puts you in resistance. And when you're in resistance of anything, it literally stops you from receiving from it. So your triggers are greatly reducing your ability to receive. Okay, they're creating upset inside your nervous system, which could be triggering pain, anxiety, uncontrolled nerve issues, inflammation. I mean, there are so many things that those triggers are doing besides just emotionally creating all kinds of upset in your life. Your triggers are essentially keeping you captive inside kind of a walled space inside of yourself. Okay, so the thing is about triggers is you really want to get to the why you're being triggered about something, and how you can really truly change that. So today I want to talk to you about that. Okay, first and foremost, I want to talk about let's just talk about triggers in general. Okay, why in the world are you being triggered about this stuff anyways? Okay, your programming made you this way. Your programming is why you are triggered about things. Okay, your programming is, and when I talk about programming, a lot of times I talk about form and structure. Okay, essentially your programming is, it's like your programming is like the decisions that you made in your life. Okay, and once you make a decision about something, okay, so we decide, this is bad, whatever it is, okay? Mean people are bad, let's just say. We decide that maybe even at a very young age, okay? And then every time someone is mean to you, you store more viewpoint, okay? Well, this person was mean to me and this is bad. And then you just keep storing that, storing that, storing that, storing that, storing that. And all of a sudden you have this big, huge, tall structure of mean people are bad. Okay, so then when someone does something, you go into judgment because that's what we do as energetic beings. Okay, we have these reference points. So somebody does something and we go into judgment if that was, mean or bad or wrong. And if it fits in within the form and structure that says, okay, this action is mean, then automatically we're going to be triggered with that feeling, right? Of this is this, that is that. It means all kinds of things. It has all kinds of viewpoints, and it ignites our system, because our system, it has this big form and structure of this is mean, and this is, this should cause you to have a reaction. When this happens, this is what you do, and it sparks this feeling that comes over your body. And the more energy, space, and consciousness that you have stored around one topic, okay, the more charge you have to that topic, and oftentimes the more reactive you are to that topic. Now, I'm going to kind of put this into terms with my own life. Okay, so I used to be very angry. Okay, and anger was one of my triggers, and I got to a point where one little tiny thing could happen and I would be pegged at my anger level. And literally there was a few times in my life where I seen red. I was so mad that I could literally just flip out at the turn of a hat. Okay, and that was a turning point for me in my life, because that was when I decided I can't exist like this anymore. I can't be this reactive, angry person. Like, this does not work for me. That is key number one to changing your triggers. Getting awareness that something is taking you out of being in the present moment, because that's what a trigger does. Has all of this stored information, all of this stored viewpoint, belief systems, reference points to. This happened to me in the past. This is what this means. Blah, 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 blah. We have all of this indication that tells our body, freak out, you know, go to this extreme emotion about this thing. And what that does is it takes you out of the present moment. And the present moment is the only moment that you have any power or control over. Okay. Once you are triggered about a subject, you have no choice anymore. You have to go down that line of, this triggered me, this is how I react. This triggered me, this is how I react. This triggered me, this is how I react, right? You're in complete and total autoresponder. And within autoresponder, you literally have no choice, no possibilities, no other anything can come into fruition because you are triggered on that one subject. Now, what that does is it greatly eliminates your possibilities in your life, because once you decide, this makes me angry, or this triggers me, or this does this, or this does that, okay, there's no other possibility that you have. You have the path laid. The thing about this universe is there is literally a million possibilities for every single example out there in the world. Okay, now energy follows the path of least resistance. So when you've been triggered about something and you have consistently been triggered about that thing, the energy is going to flow to make sure that you're triggered and to make sure that you always go down that same path. Okay, that's just how energy works. That's how this reality works. So you know that if you've been triggered by something, you often get triggered by that thing. And the more you get triggered by it, it's like the deeper the path goes, the deeper the path goes, the deeper the path goes. And the more and more reaction that you have in your body until you're like combustible about the energy, right? You ever seen somebody who has road rage? Or if you've ever been in a circumstance where you are the one that's blowing up about something, right? And you look back at it and you have all of these justifications for why you acted and reacted the way that you did. But in the same sense, it's all based off of stored programming. Really, truly, none of it's real and true. And I'm going to challenge you on that. And I know there's a lot of people that would get really angry about that and say, no, this is real and true. And this is, you know, how it is. And I get that. But I also get, and I've been doing this work for a really long time, you guys, okay? When I uphold a certain space in my energy, space, and consciousness, and I uphold a certain amount of programming about a subject, that subject always shows up for me like that. Okay, now I'm going to use family as an example. Okay, and I know that a lot of people posted about their family, and I'm going to talk more about that in a minute, but I want to say that when I changed the way that I felt, thought, reacted, you know, the way that I was triggered around my family and the points that I was holding on to about those people were able to change. And then when I also, when there was some people in my life that weren't able to change, but I was able to put up certain amount of boundaries that actually said, okay, you know what, you can be that way, but I am no longer going to allow your way of being to affect my inner peace. So there is a certain place where you do put up a boundary and say, you know what, you can be you and I can be me, but you know, we can't exist together. So with saying that, essentially, when we're looking at triggers, we're also looking at, you know, essentially, okay, so let's just go back here for a moment. So what the thing I think we need to get about triggers is who someone else is being and choosing and doing and creating really truly has nothing to do with you. Okay, it has literally nothing to do with you. Okay, now when I say that, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that you just lie there and take other people's crap. Okay, because absolutely not. But first and foremost, when someone is triggering you, the first thing that you have to do is look at, why is this bothering me? Why do their actions create upset inside of me? Okay, it's that introvertive look at, you know, do I have a lot of storage space about this that I need to clear? Do I have a lot of points of views about, you know, this that I need to maybe shift and change? Because the thing is what someone else is being or choosing has nothing to do with you. Now I'm going to break this into two parts. Okay, first, actions of others that have nothing to do with you. Okay, these are, let's look at this in the frame of, okay, lots of people said politics right now is a huge trigger for them, right? And I get it. I used to be triggered by politics as well. So I totally get the whole politics thing. But the thing is what someone else is choosing in politics has literally nothing to do with you, okay? And when you go into resistance about how someone else feels about politics or what someone else's point of view is about racism or any issue that we're facing right now in the world. Now, the thing that I've learned is, okay, if I have resistance, if I'm angry about someone being racism, and I'm using this because I know that, or someone being racist, I'm sorry, I know that we have a lot of triggers around that right now, right? And the thing is when I'm angry at someone for being racist, what I'm actually doing is I'm actually throwing the same energy against them, and then I'm creating this force field of resistance in between us. I'm saying, I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, you're wrong, right? Okay, now I get that viewpoint because we are one, right? And racism is stupid. I mean, truly, honestly, it really is. We should never be dividing each other in any way, shape, or form, right? But again, if I am throwing at them that their point of view is wrong, all I'm doing is creating a resistance between the two of us, okay? And we're just hitting like this, okay? We're just hitting. And I'm telling them, you're right, I'm wrong, or you're wrong, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right, right? I think I might have said that wrong in the beginning. Now, but if I understand that that's just their point of view and that they are not operating in a space where they're able to see the big picture of everything that is possible, what I actually am doing is I am inviting them into something greater. I'm not making them wrong, because the thing is, and if you look at the trigger things here, a lot of people posted about, their moms or their family members, and the thing is mostly because that person can't receive from them. Okay, and they're making them wrong. And when someone makes you wrong, it triggers you. I just want us to get the big picture of that for a moment. So if someone is being racist and I make them wrong, I trigger them actually creating their path of racism bigger, faster, more charge. If I'm in allowance and I understand that they are just operating in a one-sided viewpoint that is actually not real and true, and I can acknowledge that, I actually give them space to be able to choose something different. Once I make someone wrong, they have to fight against me. They have to continue to project energy at me. They have to continue to make me wrong because I'm making them wrong. And then we have to fight about the duality of polarity that exists in this reality, creating an upset and a trigger in both of our bodies. Just feel that for a moment. But if I understand that they are just functioning in a one-sided viewpoint, and that their one-sided viewpoint is actually not even real and true, it's just based upon their own experience and their one-sided views of the world, I can have acknowledgement in space, and I can actually invite them into something greater. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to choose something greater, but again, what they are choosing has literally nothing to do with me. Me fighting against their choice doesn't change their mind. It doesn't, and it never will. Fighting against somebody else's point of view is never going to change their mind. It's only going to lock them in that viewpoint deeper, faster, greater than before. Being the space of allowance for others and understanding that peace and ease is available to every single one of us in every single concept of this world. If more of us were willing to be space and not be triggered by other people's actions, what we would see is literally the greatest awakening of all time, which is exactly what we're going through right now. People are waking up. We're realizing that we cannot be triggered by other people's points of views, decisions, viewpoints. You're carrying the load and the burden of other people's problems and other people's points of views and other people's information. And it doesn't create more for you, and it doesn't create more for them, and it doesn't create more for the planet. Yes. Everything, all of that is, and everywhere you're doing that, being that, choosing that, having that, everything, all of that is. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes? And can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. Breathe that in for a moment. Let that go, you guys. We do not have to be triggered like that by other people. People should never be able to take you out of your own inner peace. When you find peace within you, when you realize that everyone has their own form and structure that they are operating in, and everyone is going to choose things based on their own point of view, you have freedom. So, number 2, let's look at actions from others that do affect your life, okay? Now, the thing is there's only what works for you and what doesn't, okay? Period. There's what works for you and what doesn't. So if you have a family member who is, continuously telling you how bad and wrong and terrible and awful and disgusting you are, or whatever they're saying to you, right? There's what works for you and there's what doesn't. So what you have to start to understand is, number 1, their point of view that they're projecting at you is only sticking you and creating upset and disease and overwhelm and all of that inside your body because you have resistance to their point of view. You're making their point of view valid in your own body. Breathe that in for a moment. You're making what they're saying, being, doing, choosing valid inside your own body, and your body is going into resistance of it because your body's like, oh, this isn't true, this isn't true, this isn't true. Okay, so where this comes in, number 2 is you say to them, you know what, that doesn't actually work for me. You saying those things about me, you saying those things to me, you saying those things, to other people about me, it doesn't work for me. And here's the thing, I am choosing to become a conscious and aware being, and I have chose that I am no longer going to be the effect of other people, and that includes you. So either you can take responsibility for the projection of energy that you're projecting at me and stop doing that, or 2, you will never see me again because I am no longer willing to be the effect of your projection. Breathe that in for a moment. Now, of course, that comes with the same energy of you have to dissipate. You have to not align and agree with what they're saying about you. Because if you are aligning and agreeing and internalizing what they're saying about you, you're not going to be able to do that in a way that's going to be effective because you're going to have your emotions tied within that. Okay, so you have to reduce the emotional charge. You have to understand that the reason that they're making you wrong is because they feel wrong about themselves inside of who they are. And that projection of wrongness of you is only an internalization of what's going on for them. Okay, so once you deeply understand that and you realize that the projection that they're projecting at you is only coming from their own, projections of inside themselves, they have a choice at that point. Either they can stop projecting that energy at you and start allowing you to be who you truly want to be, or there's some people in this world who are just never going to receive you for who you are. That's just the reality of it. Some people are never going to receive you for who you are or where you're at or what you're doing or what you're choosing. And the thing is you have to decide that you are worth it. You are worth moving on with your life. You do not have to take that type of abuse, that type of emotional projection any longer, and you have to heal yourself. So breathe that in for a moment. It's time, you guys. Triggers are a big thing that we dive into in the Conscious Empath, okay? And right now I'm enrolling in the Conscious Empath for the Conscious Empath program. Okay, I have taken out some of the stuff that I have been doing in previous courses. I've made it a smaller, more compact program to really take you through the Conscious Empath tools, teach you how to process through energy and information. And the thing is you guys, I hold a lot of keys, okay? I have a lot of keys for you. And when you get these keys and you unlock the information in your body and being, it just makes everything easier. So we do a lot of trigger work for probably the first 4 weeks of the class. We're doing a ton of work around triggers, around reducing your reaction. There's actually over 40 audios that are about an hour long. There is kind of a lot of content in there, but these audios are going to take you step by step through the things that are triggering you right now, through the blame, shame, regret, guilt, sadness, a lot of the, trying to think of some of the other triggers. There's unworthiness. There's some stuff about parenting. There's all kinds of places where you may be triggered right now. There's a ton of audios. Again, these audios have packed full of clearings to clear the energy, space, and consciousness around why you have a point of view and around what is triggering your system that is creating upset in your life. Okay, when you change those triggers, when you understand that what everybody does around you, what everybody does, chooses, bees, has literally nothing to do with you. You actually truly get to live your life in this space of freedom and ease and joy and possibilities, because you understand that nothing has anything to do with you, and you get to actually focus forward on you and what you want to create and what you want to do and what you want to do and choose and be and create for your own life. I mean, really, truly, how much time and space are you spending every single day being in resistance to someone who's triggered you, being mad because someone cut you off in traffic, or being mad because someone said something to you at work that pissed you off? Sorry, shouldn't probably swear on here. Being mad because blah, 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 right? Like, how much of your day are you spending, devoting to allowing other people to trigger you? Probably even people on Facebook you don't even know that you're getting triggered about. The thing is when you start actually focusing on you and what's going to create the most for you in healing your life and healing your space, everything changes. So being the conscious empath is registering right now until Friday. You have until Friday to join us live. And then I have some amazing, amazing things planned for this group. I mean, we are going to go far and deep and wide, and I'm going to show you how to never be triggered in your life again. And you guys, I honestly think this is probably the last time I'm going to be doing the Conscious Empath live. I am stepping into doing some other programs, some kind of step number 2. So I think that this actually might be our last live time around, and I'm going to basically make it automated from there. And so you won't ever be able to have the personalized help with me as you will in this course. So this is the time. You want to choose this course right now. Okay, do it with us. I've reduced the price. I've reduced some of the content. Some of the content's going to go in the next level course. I've moved some stuff around. It's very digestible. Yes, there is kind of a lot of clearing audios in there, because this is the step 1 is to clear those triggers, to clear that energy, space, and consciousness, to get you functioning in you. But it's very digestible, and in 11 weeks before the holidays, you can be in a completely different energy, space, and consciousness. Just imagine if your family didn't have to trigger you this holiday season. Amazing. So look at the program. Join us. Looking forward to it. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.